packs. Yes, if you subscribe to the channel, you get replay packs of almost every single tournament that we cast. We don't hand out replay packs of our amateur events because the amateur events. So it's like, do you want those replays? If you want them, you can have them, I guess. But all the pro events with pro players like these, we do give them out to our subscribers and supporters on Patreon, other than the ESL events. Pero
I'm nodding my head in agreement.
Pero ándalo.
Sí. ¿Cómo así? Y apareciendo aquí en la esquina del mapa que está en el grupo de mapas actual, tenemos al Protoss jugador de color que representa los deportes electrónicos de Timbers y Macaco, el streamer, el pollo loco, él es Jaime Arturo Durán Silencio JimRising.
Y apareciendo en la esquina de la mapa de Aura de Muerto E, tenemos el peruano, el italiano, el estaliano. Tenemos en azul Zerg. Él es representando su mismo. No tiene equipo. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Cómo puede ser? Pero él es el luchador callejero, volando a la final como lo hacen los condores para abalanzarse y llevarse la corona. Él es Ryu.
Juntos aquí de la es en fuego.
Así. Arriba.
Santa Maria arriba.
Santa Maria, let's go. This is it. This is the grand finals, mate. We are in a ZVP. JimRising once again comes out with the Protoss.
Grande finales. Potentially 5 games here. So yes, options to switch back.
Exactly. Everyone strap yourselves in. I hope you've got like a solid hour or two ready for this best of 5, the longest series we're gonna have tonight, potentially. And we'll see, because Ryu, he's fucking good, mate. He's at his Hydra Lurker Viper. He is, mate. He is Hydra Lurker Viper. I look to this man as like the iconic composition of that, the iconic player of that composition in this region. So Jim, he's got his work cut out for him.
Indeed, he really does. He's definitely also a lot better at hitting those timings. He does not particularly delay for too long. He will push out with his Hydra, see whatever he can get done. And if he sees the opportunity, he will just go straight forward. He will win the game, and that's definitely something that JimRising is counting on Ryu not doing.
Oh boy. It's one of those things where Jim, he should be aware. He should be aware of Ryu's style. Like, again, Ryu's been they've both been a part of the scene for a long time. He knows how Ryu plays, so Jim can take that into account when it comes to his own play style and how he's going to try and make this work. How defensive is he going to be? I'm sure disruptors are going to come into play. I'm pretty sure Ryu is the reason why Jim is going for disruptors as well, but I don't know.
We'll definitely see. I just want to make a Templar Archives. Just once.
Oh god.
Oh, we still have a little time here in the early game. I see some people asking, whoa, what's the Coronia in the chat? That is why Ryu was not playing for like 6+ months last year.
Yeah. Ryu actually did have Corona. That is an actual thing that happened. It was such a shame as well because
lived in Italia.
Yeah. It was around DreamHack Winter where he actually got sick and he actually missed out on a bunch of qualifiers because he was actually hospitalized. That is not what I. That's not what I meant in the intro, because corona in Spanish is also crown.
A beer.
I was going for something else with that.
A beer.
Also a beer as well. God damn.
You were doing a pun.
There you go.
Yeah, a triple pun.
Trifecta, mate.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like a triple crown.
Exactly. And okay, so far Jim has been playing this. Oh, I was gonna say he's been playing this out pretty.
Good defense here with his creep and his queens.
And not just that, mates. We have +1 melee on the way.
He knows.
Mate.
Ryu, he's in the solar panel.
He is one of the largest solar panels out there, and I imagine is going to be going for a bit of, oh my god, he's going for the Spire. Mate, you called it. Do you remember? You're like, the mutas, mate. It's happening.
Yeah. You give Jim a little bit of taste of his own medicine here. And mutas, they are fantastic against Void Rays. Now, obviously, you need to get a decent enough Mutalisk count, right? Because Mutalisks, they are light units, so there's not a lot of damage that Void Rays do, but they are also really low health, so it doesn't really matter in the end. If you can get enough Mutalisks, though, when you can start one-shotting these Void Rays, it's insane.
Yeah, definitely. And like, you could even bypass these Voiders as well. You could just dive straight into mineral lines, especially if your opponent is unaware. And Jim isn't necessarily known for his scouting either. Like, he's barely seen anything in regards to what tech path Ryu is going for. Like, he's doing everything pretty standard. Like, he's playing this out like every single other series he's gone for, just going for Flux Veins, going for Disruptors. Like, he's playing this out normal. Unlike Ryu, he's expecting Ryu to go Hydras.
But Ryu is having none of that. There's a reason why he is El Condor. It's because he takes to the skies.
Oh, that he does. He takes flight. And on top of that, he is even going for his upgrades. Now, I'm really curious to see what is going to come out for Ryu, because I assume mutas, but he could be crazy. He could just go straight into Corruptors, which would be odd, but he's doing it.
Huh. So, 2015 Dark vibes coming in.
Like, so
being Corruptor.
The reason why this is questionable, and we're like solid question marking this a little bit, is because JimRising opened up with Void Rays, and Void Rays they're pretty good against Corruptors.
Very good against Corruptors. I mean, I guess if you get enough Corruptors, you can try to start one-shotting these Void Rays, but you never want to underestimate the DPS of the Void Ray. Sure, the individual shots of the Corruptors are a lot stronger, but there's also a pretty long, I wouldn't call it reload time, what's it called, like?
What?
Time between the shots.
Oh, yeah, what it is. Exactly.
Yeah, so in between that time, I mean, Prismatic Alignment can deal with, what, 1-2 Corruptors, and even kills the hatchery. Does it get a cancel? Yeah,
it gets a kill on that hatchery. We see why Ryu has so many queens. Because he's going for Corruptors, he has to rely on his queens for early game Void Ray defense. Meanwhile, he's going for a little bit of a Ling run by, which is nice. But again, like, this is such an unusual composition coming out for Ryu, but he's gonna have like a critical mass of Corruptors soon.
Okay, I don't quite mind that. I mean, pretty decent plan coming down from Ryu, and as we see, JimRising is already transitioning into his carrier, so a couple of good yoinks. The Corruptors should be able to deal with them, but my question is, what about the Void Rays? I feel like it's really on Ryu to try to force these Void Rays into a position where the queens can, chew away at them.
That's the thing, right? Like, if Ryu is able to take down all these Void Rays, then the Corruptors are gonna have a field day. Like, they're just gonna absolutely take out all the carriers and just caustic spray everything on the ground, like all the Stargates, and just really disrupt what JimRising is going for. But he has to make that happen, and that's why we also see like Vipers coming out for Ryu, so maybe try and Parasitic Bomb, maybe try and like split off all the Void Rays. It's gonna be a really interesting engagement.
Definitely would be. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get his isolated units taken out by these Void Rays. Trying to go for a bit of a surround in the air. There he is, taking out 2 of these Void Rays already before they can they can really engage.
Yes,
and critical mass.
And this is the reveal. Now JimRising is aware of the Corruptors. He had no idea about them earlier. They were being hidden, and immediately he starts more Void Ray production. That's exactly the unit that he needs, but is it too late? We'll see. Rio's on the timer.
I think it just about maybe. These ground units are pretty much useless at the moment. The Stalkers can chip away at some of these, but without Blink, yeah, they really can't target down these Vipers like they want to. Takes out one of these carriers immediately, camps the Sky production.
And the Queens are defending.
They really are. Jim, he recalled to his third base, but there's really not much he can do.
Exactly. The thing is that Ryu doesn't know where the carriers are. He just checked all the bases except for this one here. He's like, where are the carriers? Okay, now he knows, and now he's gonna hunt them down.
Yeah. Yes, like so, and that's a very good way to make the Protoss player waste your money.
Oh my god.
Person bombs on top of these Void Rays too light, and they just fall to every single one of these Corruptors. JimRising should be thinking about his ground switch. He's actually losing a lot of Corruptors. That's a little bit less than ideal fighting within range of shield battering cannons, but even still, dealt with the air army. Now I feel like it's more on JimRising to try to work on a bit of a transition. Ryu, I mean, he's starting to get the Ultra Cavern. So just to deal with whatever ground units JimRising is going to get.
Like, Ryu was already working on ground upgrades since the very beginning of the game, so he's ready for this. Like, the Lings are ready to pounce on top of everything. What's concerning to me is that he's also investing into Ultras, and Jim is going hard into Void Rays. Void Rays, they're good against Corruptors and Ultras. Anything on the ground, really, that doesn't shoot up.
And you know what I just noticed? Jim already won the game. Templar Archives.
He has a Templar Archives. Like, what would be key for Ryu is that he needs like a Greater Spire, you know? Like, he needs to like make use of these Corruptors because he has so many of them.
Some way to deal with what's on the ground without, you know, really without really losing too much in the air either. Now, we're at the point where JimRising is hard investing in the Void Rays. Is it too late for a Hydra switch?
It's never too late for a Hydra. It's never too late, mate. The problem is that it looks like Ryu's very stubborn. Like, as in, like, he's working on these upgrades and he wants to make use of them, which makes sense. I really would love a Greater Spire. It would, like, this is so much supply. This is hurting Ryu, all of these Corruptors. Thankfully, he's finding some damage with them. Even maybe get an exposed upgrade. But, yeah.
Potentially, but no, not going to be risking that yet. He knows that the army of JimRising is not far behind.
Ooh, that he does. Meanwhile, ooh, the Lings, they find a disruptor. Oh, do they though? Oh, they're trying to get on top of it, but the Zealots are here to protect it.
That they are good enough of a buffer. Doesn't even need to shoot any purification Novas. These Zealots, unupgraded, but the Lings, despite their attack upgrades, they have 0 Carapace.
That they do, they absolutely melt. Meanwhile, the Void Rays are coming in looking to snipe a hatchery, and it looks like they should because all of the Corruptors are out of position.
At least it's not the lair.
That's true. Oh my god, the Spire though.
Yeah, very well in position. Ryu, you're gonna have to transfuse as much as you can. Prismatic Alignment goes off cooldown, and he will get that Flyer Carapace upgrades.
Oh god, that
even a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's a very long, very heavy investment into that +3 upgrade. So thankfully it will finish up. I'm just waiting for it to finish up so that finally the Greater Spire can start, I imagine. Meanwhile, here we go. Ling Bane Ultra. Bane speed only just started.
Yeah, he was not counting on needing Banelings this game. Alright, well, a lot of infrastructure damage has been done, but I feel like the time that Ryu, had to make use of these Corruptors has pretty much passed. JimRising has a very, very healthy Void Ray count.
That he does. And finally, we do have the Greater Spire on the way. But as you said, like, the Void Rays are still a problem. That, like, there's still no proper answer to them. I guess if you have enough Corruptors, it doesn't matter how many Void Rays there are, I guess.
Yeah, maybe a few Corruptors, send in some Parabombs. It's kind of like, you know, Raven Viking for Terran, in a sense.
Uh-oh.
Shame ahead of these GTs, drawing majority army back for Ryu. That said, Ryu has a little bit of a bank up. He can definitely afford to lose some workers to get a bigger army. He can't afford to throw away his Banelings like that, though.
No, he cannot, and like he doesn't have that many workers either. He has 70, which is I guess decent. To be fair, he's expanding all over the place. We have a really weird split map scenario. Yeah, it is more than 45. If White Asia was here, it would not be happening. But yeah, this is just a composition that we don't see too often, and it can still work again. Like, this is a pretty respectable amount of corruptors. It's just gonna be all about the engagement.
How is he gonna use? You know what? Like, I'm scratching myself in. Aye.
Oh god, the Greatest Spire! Okay, he opts not to go for the Greatest Spire. He's just going for more bases. These DTs are doing so much damage at the same time. We got more DTs headed towards the top of the base, the top of the map. But JimRising, he knows, as a Zerg player, how annoying it is to deal with DTs.
That he does. Taking out a Spore, and that's all detection in his base at the moment. No, my mistake, there was another Spore. But not in range for the northernmost tip. You know, Ryu just continuing to be annoying with his corruptors, but again, he's not finding the engagement he needs. Oh my god, he has so much caustic spray.
He does. And
is he gonna build it again?
We'll see. He was able to deny it twice now. But like the problem is that Ryu before had the advantage of a bank and like map control. Now he's lost that, and JimRising is getting to the point where he's maxing out just like Ryu, and we always have to kind of favor the Protoss in that situation, at least a little bit.
I'm getting flashbacks to Series versus Eric.
Oh god. I mean, I doubt we're gonna see a base trade and like we're gonna see them switch places. It's not off the table though, it could happen.
Yeah, you say that now. But Ryu is maxed out, and just continuing to fish. This is what Ryu really does best with his Vipers. He can snipe these small units.
That beautifully done there. Meanwhile, DTs this time were dealt with. They were not able to kill a hatchery, just harassing a little bit, taking down, chipping away at that Spore. JimRising with a very bold expansion.
Very deep into Ryu's side of the map over here. But JimRising, or Ryu rather, himself, gotta be very bold as well. I said JimRising because I expect this to be something that Jim does. But as he is the Protoss player this time, it is on Ryu to follow in his footsteps. Very good pair of bombs, doing a lot of AoE to his Void Rays.
Yeah. Not
Jim
just that.
really only splitting at the last minute.
Yeah, and they force the Void Rays to split up, and they become easy targets for these Corruptors. And now, honestly, there aren't that many Void Rays left. They already used their Prismatic Alignment. Now would be a nice opportunity for Ryu to dive in. But unfortunately, he is forced back. The DTs, mate! Oh, God.
Yeah, get my head. SMH my head here, Light.
Are they gonna get the... Okay. Are they gonna get the Spire? The Greatest Spire?
They might. There's still plenty of transfuse, though. Blinks away and gets that recall. Ultras, though, with their splash damage, will take out a lot of them as they retreat.
That they do, and I love it. We have another Spire being thrown down just in case one of them gets snipes. I love this, you know, Ryu preparing for the worst.
Meanwhile, I love the Banelings blocking the Ultras. Ooh, if you get the shield upgrade, that would be absolutely huge. My frames are dropping because of the sheer amount of caustic spray.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of spells going on right now, and Ryu is whittling Jim down. Jim, he's running out of bases. He's slowly spending his bank. He still has a massive bank.
Have you seen that lefternmost base?
He has not. He has not seen this base whatsoever. He has no idea.
He passive links. Just out of range.
Yeah, just barely out of range. It feels like Jim doesn't know what to spend his money on. Like, he has a massive bank, he has free supply, but he's just not producing anything.
Yeah, definitely tell he's not quite used to being in the Protoss shoes.
Oh my
Takes
God.
out the Void Rays, and with that, Ryu absolutely smashing his way forward. But the ground army Light, the Immortals!
The Corruptors, they don't shoot down, so the fight is kind of even. But again, JimRising, what's he doing? He's not doing anything. He's not spending any money right now. In the production tab, he's got like a robotics bay on the way, and that's it.
Puppy, make gates.
Puppy, spend your money. He has 4K in the bank.
Hey, let's spend make some stalkers. Something.
I guess so. Maybe he's busy trying to micro these DTs, but the DTs, they get dealt with. Nice hold position with those Lings, able to trap them. And the base is still unscattered.
Yeah. How?
He sees the probes.
Okay, now the probes go in. He's gotta be thinking, wait a minute. But then again, he might be thinking, oh, he's trying to get that base.
Exactly, exactly. He could be thinking, I stopped him from expanding. Nice, you know? Oh, God.
So it's not the case. Well, a couple of Brute Lords now coming out. And they do pretty well against the army that JimRising has at the moment. Unfortunately, there's no way for him to do much friendly fire. Well, I guess he could shoot his Nova a little premature, and that could be.
The problem is that JimRising kind of gave up the sky a little bit. Like, he's got 4 Void Rays, and that's it. So that finally allows Ryu to get those Brood Lords out, to shell away at everything. And we see even the power bombs on the Void Rays. The Void Rays are going to go down. And can Jim really fight against these Brood Lords? Like,
this is such a good use of Dead Arrow here, really. The Archons have such a short range. The Stalkers blink forward, but beautiful Blinding Cloud coming in. And the Lings just to clean it on home. GG is called. Ryu gonna be taking game number 1. I wanted Hydra Lurker, but you know what? I'm not disappointed. Very nice yoinks come down from him.
Yeah, it was a composition that I was not expecting. Jim wasn't expecting it either. And when it finally revealed itself, like, he just had so many corruptors. He really did well there, and what a game. An interesting game.
Very interesting game as well, and it cannot be understated how good Ryu's defensive setup was.
Definitely.
I feel like there were definitely times where, especially later on in the DTs, he was forced back at home, but earlier on, before that, every time Jim thought, okay, I can't fight these corruptors to see if I can get anything done with the Void Race, Queen's already in position, just flat out deny that. Exactly.
That's the thing, right? I will say that it was really impressive, like, the amount of damage, the amount of harassment damage Jim was able to pull off. Was really well done, but, like, again, it came down to the main army composition. It came down to, like, his answer to all those corruptors, and he didn't really have one. He probably should have committed more to Void Rays, to be honest, but, like, yeah.
Oh, you live and you learn.
Exactly.
And Jim may or may not fall for the same thing twice. I'm not sure how good he is at scouting with Protoss, but if game number 2 versus Eric is anything to go off of, he makes a lot of observers.
He does.
Does he use them though? As we spawn into Jagannatha LE here at the top right hand corner map, spawning all the way at the top right hand corner. The red Zerg player coming down from the land of Italia, gonna be representing Peru, and also himself, as he is currently teamless. We have El Condor Pasa, El Caronia Pan, something along those lines. He is Ryu.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Mexican Protoss player. He used to be Zerg, but he has since shed his skin, revealed his true colors here, at least in this matchup. He is El Macaco player. Representing Timbers Esports, it is JimRising.
Jimena.
I can't wait. I'm letting you know now. I'm gonna go back in the VOD. I'm gonna clip the Spanish intro and I'm gonna send it to Jim. I would love to see his reaction to it. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That'll dance on stream.
He will. That was a beautiful dance, by the way. It was very energetic. It was passionate. It was a dance of passion.
The heat.
Oh God. But, you know, Ryu starting off strong here with, again, a very unorthodox composition. I wanted to touch on it a little bit, where I'm sure Jim honestly hasn't faced that before. Like, hasn't faced Spire first as an answer to double Stargate opener. Like, it's something that doesn't make much sense, especially going for corruptors instead of mutas. And yeah,
I'm pretty sure few Protoss players have.
Because like Jim himself goes Spire first against Double Stargate, but that's to go Mutas. Like that's how he goes like Muta straight into Hydra. But Ryu didn't make a single damn Hydra last game.
Which is surprising.
Definitely.
That's what we know Ryu for.
It is, but we'll see if maybe he's kind of changed his feathers a little bit, you know, changed the color, and he has something else in store for us now. Maybe that's his go-to against Skytoss, or maybe that was just a one-off build that he threw out there just to see what would happen.
And it worked, but you know what? Because it worked, he's gonna do it more.
Oh, maybe. Oh boy.
I'll see what he has in store here on Jagannatha. I will say, probably not as good of a sky map for Zerg. Just feel like there's a lot less dead air to really utilize.
Yeah. These bases are a lot more closer together, so Jim can defend them a little bit easier. But we shall see. So far, Jim is going for the exact same opener. We'll see if he has some variance, because the opener that he went for in game number 1 against Ryu was the exact same thing that he's been doing against Eric. Just the same thing over and over again. It's just what he knows. Is it the only thing he knows? We'll see.
He knows like a couple of things.
Oh boy, and this is already starting off the same as last time. Ryu with a very early Evo chamber. We'll see if he goes for +1 melee again.
We will. It could always be range. Again, I'm just holding out hope for that Hydra den, but delaying the lair by quite a bit. There's the range.
Okay. So this does signify that he should be going into Hydras from here. We're not going to be seeing any crazy Spire play again.
Yeah, well, not for this particular game anyway, but what's interesting is that he's not being overly aggressive with this. Again, he's not trying to rush to a lair, not trying to get his Hydras as quickly as possible. So, yeah, he'll probably try to hit timing, but he's not going to be as... What's the word I'm thinking of here? Like, he's not going to be zooming as quickly as some of the other Zerg players we've seen.
Exactly, and what's really important is I love that I was just talking about it, right? I was criticizing Jim a little bit for going for the same build over and over and over again, and we do see he does have some diversity. He is going for mass gateway style Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, I love to see it, and this is something that Ryu has not scouted whatsoever. He has a Ling hanging about outside the natural base, but he hasn't gotten to the main. He hasn't gotten to the main light.
Exactly, and because the lair is so late, like he is working on Pneumatized Carapace, so once that kicks in, he should be going for an Overseer Scout, but it is so late.
Now, here's what I will say though, like, Ryu got the Roach Warren out as well. I'm pretty sure he's planning to go for the Hydra Den. Yep, there it goes, but this is not terrible for him whatsoever. He just really needs to realize what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the safe way to open up. Like, Ryu, even though he doesn't necessarily intend to go heavy into roaches, he opens up with a Roach Warren just in case he needs it, right? And at the moment, he has things all over the place. He still hasn't seen the tech. He is working on Roach speed, luckily. And he is now diving in with his Overseer.
He sees a ton of gateways. And immediately starts producing 9 roaches.
There we go, the roaches are on the way. He confirms the Twilight Council, but the Adepts are already going across the map alongside the Void Ray. Is it too late? Ryu, he's pumping out as many roaches as he can, but how much damage can Jim get done with this?
Let's look at the Shade Micro. Void Ray's caught a little bit out of position. Beautiful pincer with the Queens. And our roaches are out, and that's something that Jim is absolutely respecting. For good reason.
That he is, you know what, one Void Ray already fell. It looks like a second will fall as well. And these Adepts, they have dealt some worker damage. 10 workers have gone down. Oh my god, even Adepts in the natural. Oh.
Yeah, Ryu definitely not used to having to split his army this drastically.
Exactly, and a lot of workers are going down. Even Queens as well. The Adepts are overpowering the army of Ryu here at the third base. At the same time, the War Prism was able to sneak into the main.
But I think that's the only front that JimRising really has at the moment. This is quite a bit easier for Ryu to deal with, but we'll see how well he can switch the depths. Once again, 30 workers have gone down light, but Ryu not far behind.
He isn't. To be fair, like a lot of worker damage has been done, but Ryu, he's good enough to like catch up in terms of the worker count. But this also means that like any kind of counterattack potential that he could have had, like is really hindered. At the same time, oh my god, Jim's supply is so low.
Look at that army supply, yeah.
Jim hasn't been producing. Oh god.
He was focused 100% on that war prism. For a second there, Ryu with literally 10 times the army.
Yeah, and what is there to defend here? There's a single shield battery. A void ray is gonna come out soon, TM. But like, there are so many roaches here. Oh my god.
This is straight up the end for Jim.
Please. he was doing GG. Ay, ay, ay.
Dios mío, Santa Maria.
Jim was doing so well. He was doing so much damage.
But he was 100% super hardcore dedicated to that though, and sure that was a lot of damage, but he needed even more than that. Ryu, I don't think he lost that many roaches. If I had to estimate, we could always go back to look at the units lost set, but he really didn't lose too many of them. He, as you said, opened up the safe way. He didn't think that adepts would come in his way, but because of how he opened, he was able to counter it the minute he scouted with his overseer what was coming his way.
I think I would say that what happened there was, if you recall during that attack, as Jim was like adepting all over the place and doing a lot of damage, he threw away his void rays. He moved 3 void rays into queens. If those void rays were babysitted or just left at home, then he would have survived the counterattack. He would have had at least 4 void rays to defend against the roach push, which, I mean, like it's possible, right? It isn't an insta GG as opposed to the 0 army supply he had when the attack happened.
Literally 0 for a while there. Well, that's not entirely true. It was a 2 army supply, but that 2 supply was in the war prism.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just looking at it's one of those key things, man. You gotta macro, you gotta spend your money. Oh boy.
He got a little too excited. He was like, haha, this is fun. I can see why Protoss players like this build. Yeah, I was like, oh wait, oh no.
Oh no.
I was half
Go on.
I was half expecting Jim to revert back to Zerg, but no, he's committed.
He is committed. I appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for that.
He has the commitment, ladies. As we are now on Pilares de Oro, LE, holding up the all the other en la mapa as well. In the bottom left-hand corner, Matt starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, the red Protoss player, not the red Zerg player. This time the red Protoss player, and this is his last chance. Like, this is final shot. He needs to win this if he wants to stay in this tournament and have a chance of turning this around and starting to win. Can he do it representing PvZ Sports and Macaco? He is JimRising.
And
appreciate that, monk.
you gotta, mate. You gotta. And spawning in the top right of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself as he is teamless, but already up 2-0 in this best of 5 finals. Will he even drop a map? We'll find out here, as he is Ryu. El Condor.
El Corona Condor.
In my eyes, like he's a big bird, and as he's flying, he's got like a 6-pack of Coronas, like that he's carrying with his talons.
Yeah. He's wearing a crown. He is El Condor Rey de la Condor,
Ooh.
which I wanted it to be like Condor King because I know we have like alliteration, but that's not what it is. And you know,
We can call
he
him that.
wears
It's
la
fine.
Condor, la Coronia de la Condor.
That's fine. That's fine. I like it. I like it. But we'll see. We'll see if Jim will let him take that crown here in Copa Hyperion. Oh, he's had a rough time of it against Ryu. To be fair, like in game 2, Jim was in the driver's seat. He just kind of let go of the wheel a little bit, you know.
Look, well, no hands.
Went off a cliff, you know.
It's like he was cycling.
Uh-huh.
And he took his hands off.
Took his hands off, and then he just let the bike take him where it went, and it just
it
didn't end well, mate.
Yeah, it did not.
Oh boy, oh boy. We'll see what Jim has in store for us, because now he has shown us that he has 2 different builds, which is crazy. That's 1 more than I expected him to have, so maybe he has a 3rd.
Will he have? Yeah, exactly. So opening up with a Stargate to be expected, really, in this current meta, but what is he gonna get beyond that? How many Void Rays, Light? How many Void Rays?
That's the real question. Will he even get it? Will he just go straight into Phoenix or Oracle?
Oracle? Will he go stats? Triple Oracle.
Will he go Patience?
And just not produce from it.
Will he go
Dark Shrine.
Will he go Patience, go Void Ray, let the Void Ray get scouted, and then switch into Mass Phoenix, and just die to Hydrus?
I still remember that game.
Shaking my head, Patience. Shaking my head. God damn it.
I like to imagine that as JimRising is learning Protoss, he's looking at stats games, which is why he's playing the way he is with his, disruptors and whatnot, but Patience, he's at the corner of the room. It's trying to influence him.
Yeah, he is. Oh god. Jim's like, I'm pretty sure stats eventually makes High Templar, and Patience like, nah, mate, no. Keep making disruptors.
That's what it was.
Oh god. All right, and the first big tell for how this game is going to go is, we have this time
there's a second Stargate coming down,
and an Oracle. Okay.
Mass Oracle.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but like this is the first Oracle Jim has made today.
It has, funnily enough. He didn't even use it. He didn't even get an Oracle for Revelations or anything. Earlier in his series is
Sirai.
Yeah, Siri.
There you go. And what I'm confused about, I should say not concerned, is that Ryu got a very fast Evo chamber. It was done well before like even the lair started, or I think it was like just as it started, and still no upgrades. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very surprising. Ooh, Rip Queen range nerf.
Jesus. Okay, the Oracle just barely made that out. Yeah, and this Void, the problem is that the recall was just wasted on the Oracle, so now the Void Ray just has to just run away as best it can. Oh, just barely outrunning the Queens.
Yeah, but you know what? Doing that means that it's getting scouting information. Confirms 4th base coming out from Ryu. And yeah, I think what was going on earlier was potentially anyway, Ryu just wanted to scout what Jim was going for before grabbing his upgrade. He sent the Overlord into the main and then sent it out, and did confirm the second Stargate coming. So yeah, just gonna grab his range, gonna go for that Hydra style.
Yeah, that he will. He even scouts that fleet beacon, and I love what he's going for. He went for a very fast infestation pit. He is going to, I imagine, go for one of those Hydra timings with a couple of Vipers.
Ooh, you love to see it. Or Hydra timing with +3.
Could happen, I guess. Could happen. Not wrong.
Rush Hive purely for the upgrades. Pull a bit of a Sue.
Just a little bit. Meanwhile, we do have JimRising being pretty aggressive here, already able to kill one queen, but only one queen. The rest of them do show up and push away the Void Rays.
Honestly, pretty impressive micro coming out from Ryu here. Not just getting the what's the word I'm thinking of here, like transfuses. Yeah, but also making sure that he's moving away with his injured queens. Jim is microing as well though, and now the queens are on eventually light, but the Hydras come in.
Oh, just in time the Hydras come in. This is important for Jim as well because he confirms that this isn't any kind of weird Spire play like what was happening earlier. It is Hydras. It is a little bit more normal. What he doesn't know is the speed, or he hasn't seen the infestation bit. He doesn't know that the Hive is basically done.
He's gonna get +3.
Oh my god, and Jim is committing to this. He's throwing down 2 more Stargates.
Question mark?
Oh my god.
Well, if it worked against Eric, maybe?
I guess. Like, here we go. The Vipers are coming out. So this is something that Ryu did against Jim last week. So we'll see if it works again.
Hive is gonna go down. Light Hive is gonna go down. Hive is gonna go. Just puppy! Queen just out of range. And yeah, a couple of Vipers are gonna come out. That's gonna be the only Vipers Ryu has for a long time.
That was actually huge. Killing a Hive like that is insane. Unfortunately, the Spores were not in position to help support that. The Queens were out of position as well. He just didn't have vision, was unaware that the Void Rays are heading there, and that was a massive pickle for Jim.
Really shows you the power of Flux Veins over there, how quickly the Void Rays can come in and dip out after killing.
Yeah, and they're looking to do so again. Forces a cancel here on the 5th. At the same time, a bit of a Zealot run by. It will be dealt with. And this timing is hindered. It looks like, is Ryu going to still try and go for it? I mean, he has his Vipers.
I feel like he might as well at this point, honestly. He has 4 Vipers, which is pretty dang good. That's what, 8 yoinks? And decent number of parabombs.
To be fair, for all Jim knows, like, he killed the Hive before the Vipers were made. Like, I don't think the Vipers have been revealed.
I don't think they have yet either, and now Ryu's gonna go for it. JimRising does not have any ground AoE. He doesn't quite have a massive carrier count either.
Yeah, so far he only has 1 carrier. More are on the way, to be fair, and they are going to be popping out. The Hydras are here with the Vipers. The Vipers, the key goal here is to yoink those carriers to instantly take them down. At the same time, the Void Rays are attacking across the map. We should be seeing a recall, or he could just commit.
He definitely could. There are some queens with a lot of energy, but there aren't too many of them. Very nice yoinks coming out from Ryu. Rip that carrier. Did not even try to escape. Huge depowerment. Delays +2 air weapons for so long.
The damage is being done. All the carriers have gone down. Meanwhile, JimRising has not turned around. He's committing with these Void Rays. Even snipes the Hydra then.
Very nicely done. Ryu forced to remake that. And he's getting 11 Hydras out, which might be able to deal with the Void Race at home. Even still, I very much favor Ryu here. Does recall, but where's he? Oh.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, mate. I mean,
puppy.
Yeah, the main base is under threat. The carriers are going to be yoinked. The disruptors are yoinked.
And apart from the carriers, it really is the disruptors that's the main threat to these Hydras. That carrier not going to be escaping whatsoever. There's still enough for a single parabomb. There it lands, and look at that AoE damage like Ryu El Condor. What a master at ZVP light. Yeah, deserves an echo effect, because...
Wow, GG, well played. Ryu with that crisp Hydra Viper timing. It was huge that Jim was able to snipe that Hive, but it was too late. The Vipers were already out. All 4 of them were out as soon as they maxed out with their energy. Ryu just went across the map, and sure, he was, to be fair, he was losing a lot to those Void Rays, right? Like the Void Rays, they killed all the queens, they killed the main base again, and all the workers there. But Jim recalling, maybe if he had recalled closer and then he tried to sandwich with like the Void Rays and like those disruptors, but
it's the classic inexperienced Protoss mistake where you hotkey all of your nexuses and then you recall. But the thing is, I'm sure there's a way to figure out how it works, but as far as I can tell, it's pretty much random which Nexus it recalls to. I think it's the most recent Nexus is the one.
I think so as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but regardless, like even if he did recall to a closer base or to his main, would it have been enough to hold? It would have been closer, to be fair. But again, like there was just so much potential with those Vipers, and there were all these Hydras. It would have been difficult to call, but regardless, the way it turned out, Ryu, he took the game, he took the series 3-0.
He is Coronia crowned. El Rey de la Condor.
Coronado. There we go. Crowned.
Coronador. The Crendor.
There you go. Congratulations, Ryu. He is our Copa Hyperion number 14 champion, able to work his way through all the Protosses, Zions, and JimRising. Meanwhile, shout out to Jim. Jim played well. He took down Eric, a feat that I didn't think was possible for him, but he was able to do it, but just wasn't enough for that ZVP expert.
Absolutely, a much improved Protoss than the last time we saw him in Battle of the Americas.
Exactly. And we'll see where Jim goes from here. Like, is he going to actually go for the switch? At the moment, from what we are aware of, Jim only plays Protoss in specific matchups. He still plays Zerg against Terran, but he could just keep working on it, and he could just straight up switch races. That'd be insane. But of course, before we close out, something that we should have been mentioning, but we haven't, it has slipped our mind. Of course, everyone, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat. We do have a Matcherino page for this tournament. You can use code HYPE, HYP14 to add $1 for free.
Not gonna lie, when you said exclamation mark, I thought you were gonna be like, exclamation mark Funaradastan. We should have been doing that the entire time.
That too. Oh god, yes, of course. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the Spanish intro as well. And yeah, what a tournament, what a long tournament. And of course, Yaku, we will be back in
coupon codes have been used up.
They've all been used up. We will be back in 3 hours and 26 minutes with Grand Platypus Open. F's in the chat. Oh boy. But Yaku, mate, where can people? Who are you? You're not usually here.
Who am I?
Who are you?
Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1, Twitter.com @Empora Yakuzaku, exclamation mark, Discord in the chat by myself and the other members of CranKy hanging about there. Apart from that, by my shirt, so I can find you, Light_VIP
on Twitch and Twitter. You can follow me there. I do stream throughout the week. My latter sessions, I am trying to work my way back into Masters slowly but surely. So if you want to tune into that, you can. Otherwise, follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings. As you can see on the screen right now, we are live throughout the week. As you can see, our schedule is quite packed on the weekend. We just casted Copa Hyperion, that is the morning of Saturday, and we will be getting straight into Grand Platypus Open, as I said, as you can see on the screen, in 3.5 hours. We will take that time to rest, get some food, get some water, prepare the stream for the next broadcast. F's in the chat. We may not make it, but if you want more of us, we will be there later today. Tomorrow we will be back with Battle of the Americas. I'll be casting that alongside Starduck once again this week. Hopefully we can resolve the audio issues that we had last week and things will be okay. But yeah, we've got plenty of StarCraft here, so hit that follow button. Follow us on social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and YouTube for all the VODs. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Yaku, do you have any closing words?
Juntos aquí en la mapa es el fuego. Arriba, Santa Maria. Grande finales, semifinales de la 8 de 6 es da.
See. Gee, we're done for today. F's in the chat for our brains. They've melted. We had such a long series, such a long broadcast. It's been 5 hours. We'll be back in 3. See you then. Adios.
Patos.